Earlier this afternoon, I saw a post on Instagram. A friend of mine who isn't really even a friend, she's a stranger that I met. Her name is Lee, and I can't wait to tag her in this. She is just a really neat person. We've just connected on the social media, and our hearts are intersected. She's just I don't even know what this person looks like, but the things that she's posting and writing, they're hitting me. We have very like mindsets. That being said, she is, I can tell that this woman is very artistic and creative minded. She is very much of an empath, and she's just right up my alley. And one of the things that she posted today was a quote from a artist that I love. This is an artist. He's a surrealist. I don't know if you know this. I don't know if I've mentioned it. I am a huge fan of surrealism. Salvador Dali, that crazy cuckoo bird nutty guy, I've studied him. I studied him for a year in college, and yeah, he's a little bit insane. But the artist that she quoted today was Juan Miró. He's a Spanish surrealist that his works are very kind of Daliistic, but not really. Surrealism is a very interesting art form if you're not familiar with it. With surrealism, what you see isn't always what you get. That's kind of like me, and it's probably why I'm so drawn to it. It's very mysterious, and you can look at a piece of surreal art and make a whole bunch of assumptions about it at all different times, in all different ways, and chances are that whatever you're assuming isn't even what the artist intended, because nobody really knows what's in the mind of a surreal artist, sometimes not even the artist. But I've digressed. The quote that she wrote up today was something that I have seen in the past, and I remember hearing this a long time ago, and it struck me. It just struck me, and then I haven't heard it or seen it in so long, but the quote is this: you can look at a painting you can look at a picture for a week and never think of it again. You can also look at a picture for a second and think of it all your life. Let's just think about that for a minute. To me, that quote speaks volumes about not just art, not just paintings, it's about anything in this world that is of value or beauty. That can be a relationship, an actual tangible item, an artwork, a feeling, a human being, a memory. And the reason today, seeing that quote, let me just tell you, when I woke up this morning, my Facebook, you know how you get those little Facebook memory flashes from years gone by? My Facebook memories today are flooded. Evidently, July 17th has always been a powerful day for me to post things. I have memories posted back from mine and Zach's journey together with Gia, that there were so many of them today. I mean, it was one after the other after the other. And from the morning, when I woke up this morning, I woke up to the memories of some pictures when we were on our one of our vacations in Mexico a couple of years ago. And there's some even further back than that. And all I can tell you is, I guess there are some people that in their grief might have been saddened by those things. But I'm telling you, I'm at the point, and I have been for a while, when I see pictures of my husband and my daughter and my family together, I smile, and I have been smiling all day long. When I see the pictures and I see the smiles and I see the memory, now I'm going to cry. No, I'm not. I'm happy right now. I'm really happy because I'm thinking about, I had 11 years with this human being. And let me explain something to you. I've been a little cryptic about some parts of the process with Zach in the last few months of his life. So many of you do not know, and you will never know, the extent of the madness. My husband, when I say that he literally went batshit fucking crazy, he honestly did. the things that he did and the things that were going on in his head were, I mean, they literally defied conception. And he really did a number on me and Gia. But it wasn't him. All I can tell you was it was as though the actual devil moved into my husband's head. I know it. My daughter knows it. God knows it. And I've forgiven him for everything that happened. And so has Gia. I forgave my husband for what he did 15 seconds after. I don't know if I've also told you this, but they found Zach's body on August 23rd at 8 o'clock in the morning. That just before midnight on the 21st, though. I'm sorry, on the 22nd. I felt it happen. I know the exact minute that my husband's soul left this earth, because when they found his body, the police told me that it looked like he'd been gone for 8 to 10 hours, which means since they found him at 8 o'clock in the morning, it meant that the physical manifestation that I felt at just before midnight that previous night, it was the moment that he was leaving. I felt it. It felt like someone stabbed me. I had an adrenaline dump. I couldn't breathe. I got nauseous. I was dizzy. I know for a fact that's when he left. My point is that even with the pain and the trauma and the literal wreckage that he left me and my daughter and my son in, the gifts and the beauty that man brought to our life otherwise in 11 years were so beyond any treasure that even in his worst moment, even in his very, very worst moment, and even in his worst state, and even in his madness and his insanity, and the things that he did that, again, you couldn't possibly conceptualize. It's just all that we can think of now. Even Gia. Today we had lunch with a really dear friend of ours. In fact, she was such a dear friend. She was the first person who, her name is Suzanne. She was the first person who acknowledged when Zach and I got married. We got married in some friends of ours' living room in Sac City, Texas on a Monday night. And nobody wanted us to get married. We didn't have much support from anybody at the time. There was just a handful of people that supported us at that time. And Suzanne was one of them. So Gia and I had lunch with her today. And all I can say is, you know, we were talking about him, and I had Gia was with us. Looking at my daughter, if you could have seen the way that she was talking about her dad, she is now cognitively saying things like, my dad. She has happy memories. She smiles. One of the things that she said today at lunch, it literally, I wanted to cry, but it happy tears, because hearing these words come out of her mouth, it blew my mind, because after everything that he put us through, literally, this child shouldn't be able to say the words that she says about this man out of her mouth. We were talking about what a joy he was, and how much he enriched our lives in the 10 years, 11 years that we had him. So much so that it was like we had him for this much, and this tiny little shred of him flipped his lid and went on to the dark side. And even in that, she can sit there in all of her with clear mind and clear head, and having been through such a process with her grief and her pain and her trauma, and say something. She said he was just a really good dad. She said he was just such a good dad. You know that, and just hearing her say that, because a lot of kids that have been through what she's been through and like what he put us both through in the very end, I mean, I have to be honest with you, it's unfathomable. So my point is that, you know, I've known people in my life. I have known people. I've had relationships with people that lasted for what seemed like a lifetime, people who didn't do anything of value. They hurt me, people who used me and abused me, who manipulated me, people who, I mean, there was this one guy who, like, literally, he made me want to fucking shoot myself in the head. What he did to me, what he did to my heart and to my soul, like, if I'm lucky that I didn't have a gun at the time, I would be very much dead right now. This person left such a black mark across my heart that, like, when I think back, I have to make myself think about him now that I have come so far with this quote. I mean, that person was a significant part of my life. I think we were together for 2 years maybe. And after all is said and done, I am now at the point where I have to make myself think about that person. Like, I can't even, like, it's just, I can't explain it. He left no value. He left nothing but a black mark on my canvas that now I have to think about what it was. There was no powerful, the impact was just unimpactful. Meanwhile, I've met strangers. There was this man that I met on an airplane. I know you've all heard me talk about the flyboy from France. I met this person on a plane for 11 hours, 12 years ago. This person changed my life forever. To this day, this man is one of the dearest treasures into my heart. And the person that he is, the human being that this man is, he had such a powerful, positive, uplifting presence in my story that, I mean, as the years go by, I don't know what it will take for this person. Like, I always think of him. He's always in the forefront of my mind. I don't even have to try. He's just up here. He's like a beautiful piece of artwork that I looked at for, if I'm 51 years old and I spent 11 hours on a plane with him, in the big scheme of things, I was with him for just a second, and he left a mark on me indelibly until I die, and probably beyond. Same thing with Zach. Zach, we had him for 11 years. All of the beautiful marks that he left in my life, on our souls, in our atmosphere, they were so beyond. Like, he fucked some stuff up big time, but I mean, who he was as a person, I mean, his imprint on my life, even in his death, it's going to live on in our family for years. Not the bad stuff, just the good stuff. The brighter side of the gray part with Zach. I mean, he changed me. He changed my daughter. He changed my son in the best ways possible. And the ripple that my husband left with the pebble, well, let's call Zach a boulder. If you knew him, he was a tower. So my husband was a boulder that fell into our ocean. That ripple effect, it's going to linger on for years and years and years. Even in his death, even in his madness, he was that powerful of a picture, of a masterpiece. So I guess what I'm saying is our goal should be, all of us should have a goal. Strive. I mean, the best thing we can do is strive to be that painting. Strive to be that picture or that painting to someone, to somehow in this world, that even if you cross paths with someone for a blip, a second, a moment in time, you leave a mark, a beautiful, permanent mark that is impossible to forget, no matter how hard someone tries. Don't be that person that leaves such a damaging, toxic, gross, black, ugly, disgusting cut, scrape, or mark on a human being's heart or soul that at some point you just become forgettable and dismal, to say the least. I mean, that's pretty sad. I mean,